fam.news.
How did Kelly Christal go from selling mattresses in San Antonio to becoming business partners with a founder of Mattress Firm and now celebrating her 10th anniversary as a Mattress Firm franchise owner? The Fam Podcast with our guest, Kelly Christal, starts right now.
1894, Max Englander hand-built the first Englander mattress. Today, Englander mattresses are still bench-made right here in the USA. Proven materials, expertly layered, and every stitch triple-checked. All for you. Englander, better sleep by design.
Hey, are you a mattress retailer looking to supercharge your business? Introducing Podium, your secret weapon. I use it, I'm a huge fan of it, and with Podium's AI-powered lead conversion, you can engage with customers in seconds via text, making it feel like they're talking to a friend. But hey, that's just the beginning. Podium offers texting, payments, reviews, website chat, and more, all in one place. You've got to be the most responsive retailer to help customers solve those sleep problems in the moment. Harness the power of Podium today and start growing your business. Visit podium.com right now to learn more.
Welcome to the FAM Podcast with Mark Kinsley. This is where the best in the bedding business get even better.
Kelly Christal, you are a partner in the 6-store operation known as Mattress Firm South Dakota and the VP of Sales and Marketing for the company that's part of Harry Roberts' larger group of stores. My friend, Kelly Christal, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be on today.
Well, we have had recently quite an adventure. You and I went to Salt Lake City and Lehigh, where we got to meet with some of our friends at Podium. We'll tell some of the stories. Like there's a plant conspiracy going on in Salt Lake City that we can get into. But first, I want to hear your story. So take us right into it. I think people are interested in the Mattress Firm franchises that are out there. How are they structured and how is that all put together? And then, of course, you're celebrating your 10th anniversary, so you've been very successful. Give us the lay of the land there. I'm curious.
Yeah, so kind of how it works is there are, I think now we're down to about 75 store doors of Mattress Firm franchises across the country. So, I don't know what that math is, but over 90% are going to be corporately owned mattress firms. And kind of the way it works is we, as part of my franchise group, I'm a co-owner of 6 stores. Harry and his brother Charlie are my partners, along with the managing owner, Paul Hollister. So the 4 of us own 6 stores plus our warehouse. And it's really neat because, our company is our own company. We can run our own merchandising, our own advertising. We're shooting commercials today. But we are, a Mattress Firm brand. So we do pay royalty. We are part of the Mattress Firm brand, and we get to carry, some of the premier brands across the country and have some great locations and some great national advertising and just be a part of this story, of course, that Harry Roberts created. And the fact that I get to be partners with them is just a really cool full circle, moment for me.
Well, that's incredible. I think a lot of people, the lay of the land with Mattress Firm has shifted so much, but you have your own businesses and you're operating in South Dakota. You have those 6 stores. And then what's the broader group? I know you have other partners that are owners as well in similar situations as you and Paul Hollister.
Yes. So what we call our group is the RBCG group, which, and it's the Roberts Brothers group or RBG group. And so we are about 25 stores. So Harry and Charlie own a partnership in all the 25 stores. So they have, we have mutual partners in this game. And so in North Dakota, Jason Sellers is their partner there. And then in Tulsa, Michael and Elliot, which I've worked for years ago and love them. They're partners with Harry and Charlie as well. So we kind of do everything in a big group. We work together. We do a weekly marketing call. We do yearly planning together. We visit market together, and we do talk really pretty much daily with each other. So we kind of have a really nice group where we have mutual partnerships, but we aren't all owned by the same group. So we are 3 separate companies, and that's the Tulsa market, North Dakota, and then South Dakota.
Let's go back in time. So you're celebrating your 10th anniversary as owner a VP of sales and marketing with the structure that you're in South Dakota with your 6 stores. It's your 10th anniversary. But going back in time, how did you end up in the mattress business in the first place? You were in San Antonio?
Yes, yes. So actually, it is kind of a funny story. I have an interior design degree from Texas State University in San Marcos, and I decided to move out of the college town I'd been in way too many years and head to San Antonio and look for a job in interior design, which was a lot harder than I realized. I think anybody will tell you that. It's a tough industry, but any new college graduate, it's tough. So I thought it would be super easy. And so I applied at a lot of places and, had a great interview with Mattress Firm. And actually, Michael Yelich has interviewed me along with another DM. So this is 15 years ago. And I just thought they were great people. And I'm still great friends with them today. So I feel like it was really the people that kind of attracted me to Mattress Firm.
Wow, that's great. So you ended up on the sales floor for a couple of years in San Antonio and then in Tulsa opening up stores?
Yeah, so I did sales in San Antonio and I also did some training for their new hires and actually, in fact, trained some people that were friends with Charlie and Roberts. And that's kind of how I got to know him. So he had some friends that were opening up their own franchise. So even though I was just selling in San Antonio, in downtime, I would help train some of these franchisees. So I started learning about this franchise world and really what it meant. And I got really excited to kind of learn more about it. And then when Michael and Elliot got the opportunity to open their own franchise in Tulsa, Oklahoma, they were able to bring one person per their agreement with Mattress Firm Corporate, and it was me somehow. So I don't know if it was very flattering it was me or if I was the only one willing to go. I don't know. We'll figure that part out. But it was really awesome. So I got to move there and I sold for them, did some training, did some finance stuff, helped them with refunds and some, all kinds of stuff. And Paul, that's where I met Paul. Him and I helped Michael and Elliot open 9 stores in 3 years, about 2.5 years. So it was a wild ride. We were very busy, but it was a lot of fun. And then we kind of both thought, I think we can do this ourselves.
And that's what happened.
Yep, exactly what happened. So yeah, so they, Harry and Charlie got the opportunity to open the South Dakota market. And there wasn't a lot of franchising going on at the time, and they needed some people to move out there and manage it. So they first asked Paul to manage it, and then they really felt like they needed a second partner out there to help. It's a big task to open a new market in a whole new state, and kind of asked me to go along. So it's always kind of what I wanted to do. I never thought I would be living in South Dakota, but as a young person, this great opportunity came up and I couldn't pass it up. And I really had learned to love and trust these guys that I work with. And I just thought, what a cool opportunity to, after all these years of doing this for other people, to do it for myself.
How long did it take you to get from the first store opening to 6 being fully opened, and now you're in your 10th year?
All of it happened very fast. So one of the things that we've been talking about recently are the stages of business. And, the first couple of years are that growth stage. And then you kind of have, it's that formative stage. And then you have that, normative stage where you kind of are doing the same thing for many years. And then right now we hit this milestone of 10 years. So we're trying to start fresh and do some things different. And we've done a lot of things different in the last 6 months, but anyway, so it's just really exciting. So really those first, I would say 18 months, we opened the first 6 stores in our warehouse. So it was all very quick. And really 5 of them were within a year. So it was very fast.
That is a breakneck pace. You said something. You said we're starting fresh for our 10th anniversary. We're doing some things differently over the past few months. What are some of those things you're doing differently that have led to that normative stage?
Yeah. So, I think because we had such wild growth in that first couple of years, and then, really these last 8 years, we've been doing the same thing, and we've had a lot of fun, and we've met a lot of people, and we've gotten to provide for a lot of families and really build a name for ourselves in our community. But I can't say that we've really done anything different. We did actually over the years close 1 store and then open 1 store. So really our 6th store we opened about a year ago, but we had 6. We closed 1 during COVID. So it's kind of, we did have some changes, but generally we've kind of had this steady pace. And so these last 6 months, we've really talked a lot about our vision and who we are, our mission, our values as a company. we joined the mastermind, which is really great with you guys. And we attended Sleep Summit, and we're trying to do things a little bit different and learn from a lot of our peers. So we've learned a lot of great things. And then even those are bigger picture things that we're working on. We're really trying to do things that will help our culture and make this place a place that people can really feel valued and love working here and love working for us. But then on the outside, we're really trying to change things. So we started some really cool things like bulk messaging through Podium. We just launched that last week. We realized we have 30,000 contacts of phone numbers we've collected over 10 years. And besides the here's your delivery here and there, or, thanks for stopping by Mattress Firm, we've sent just a handful of texts to these 30,000 people in contact. So we just started this campaign, which is great. We also started a new mover campaign. We're changing up really the way we're spending our advertising budget. We're changing up the way that we are doing our kickoff celebrations internally, and then we're changing some of our advertising stuff. So we really are excited to see how we can make a different impact in 2024, as we're, just passing this huge milestone of 10 years.
That's amazing. Even just touching on that one point about kind of mining your existing data and surfacing some of those opportunities from people that are probably ready to buy another mattress. That right there, I think, is something that's a great pause point for other business owners, because we were talking about another leader within the mattress mentorship mastermind group who had used Podium to send a campaign to like 18 years of data, and they did 50 grand off just a text message.
Yes, I heard about that, Nicole. That was awesome. So, and that's the thing. It's, I talked about this with some of our team from Podium and our internal marketing team, for our franchise group. But, when we do a TV commercial, we make this big buy and we just send it out to the airwaves in South Dakota, and who knows who's watching and who's going to receive that. We can spend the same budget for, maybe one, TV buy and throw that into, something like this bulk messaging campaign through Podium. And we're talking directly to these people versus just throwing it out into the airwaves. And so I think that is something that we really didn't consider. And so really excited to see where that can take us and grow that. We've had a lot of success with our first one. So we'll try to quantify that and get some real data, but we're excited.
And you did have a partner that did something similar and saw some results right away.
Yes. In North Dakota, Jason Sellers did it ahead of President's Day and really got on the ball and got 2 messages out before President's Day. One was kind of a warm-up message to introduce that, they were now textable. And then another one was a direct President's Day sale message. And so he got that sent out, and he had a record-breaking President's Day weekend for his company. And they're 9 years, so they're going to celebrate their 10 years this year. So that was a huge win for them.
And nice way to get some data ahead of time for you as partners, adjacent partners, to see if it's going to work for you.
Yeah, we were actually glad he did it, because there are some learnings from it. They had some kind of, there's a lot of people you're talking to in a short amount of time. So, we got some tips on a better day to do it and some messaging ideas for some of the responses. And so anyway, we were really excited that he was kind of the, guinea pig, but then we were also a little bit jealous because he also had such a, huge President's Day. Maybe we should have done that. Maybe we should have been the guinea pig. So, there's pros and cons if you look at it.
That's really another thing when you are looking at new ways of doing things. You're talking about going into your 10th year and exploring some other facets of how you can refresh your business. And all of a sudden you have this new technology that actually allows you to tap into your existing customer base. And then you decide to do it, and you learn really quickly, oh my gosh, if we're going to send out a bulk message like this through Podium, we got to have to mobilize people to respond in the moment. So picking the right day, having team that's kind of organized and mobilized for the right responses, because you do end up getting a flood of business, which is amazing. Yes. And you want to be able to service that properly.
Yes, absolutely. So, I recommend that for sure. Do it on a weekday. A Saturday is going to be a little harder because your team is going to be hopefully busy selling beds, just like any Saturday. So I think a weekday and early in the day would probably be better as well before it gets too busy. So definitely those are great tips that we learned just kind of a little bit through trial and error.
So Kelly, what are some of the lessons that you've learned over the past 10 years that you would share with people that are in mattress retail in general? And then in particular, maybe even female leaders, which are underrepresented in our industry pretty historically.
Yeah, I think, I think the big thing for just in mattress in general is I think community is great. We were so lucky to have the other franchise owners over the last 10 years that I've been running this company. There's no way we could have done it, Paul and myself, without the help of our other franchise friends within our kind of franchise group, but also other franchise owners as well. I mean, we're great friends with, James Perez and some other people that maybe we're not connected to through ownership, but just they're doing the same things that we're doing every single day. And so having that connection has been vital for us. And then, most recently by joining, the Sleep Summit and Masterminds, it's fun for expanding that community even greater. And I love that we're talking to people outside of our circle because we've been talking to those people for 10 years. So it's cool to learn some new things from our new friends. And then as a female leader, I think the biggest advice that I'd like to talk about, so my biggest thing is it's a little bit different for men, but for women, you really have to ask for your seat at the table. It sounds, like you shouldn't have to do that. But if you aren't invited to a meeting that you feel like you should be a part of, it's very quick for women to be overlooked and things like that. They might not think they're interested or they're only interested in marketing or certain things. Or if you don't understand a concept, or if you aren't invited to a conference call, request to be joined into that conference call, request to be, included in that meeting, and ask what that thing means that you're not sure. So don't let people just kind of brush past you and think that, you only have this one thing of value, and really get included at the table. And sometimes it can be hard to do that, but it's so vital because you do deserve to learn every aspect of your business and to be included. If you're a leader in this business, it shouldn't matter your gender, but I think, when you go to market, it's easy for the men to kind of just talk to the other men and just kind of look past you. So it's really good to just be present and, really make sure you get that seat at the table.
What great advice. Do you have conversations like that with other female leaders or ladies that are kind of emerging leaders?
I do. In fact, I do. And one thing I also do is if I notice that other men are including a female in a conversation or in their company, for example, I might go up to even that person and just say, hey, thank you for putting so much trust in her, or thank you for, including us in this or including her. And it's not always so easy. So yeah, I think I even take it a step further and if I notice those type of things. But for other female people, I'll just say, look, join the meeting, figure it out later, just get involved. And then you're going to be the one that they're going to invite first. That's what will happen.
Great advice. I'm always curious, Kelly, you've been on the sales floor, on the marketing side, you're an owner, so you're responsible for the business, and you and Paul, the operations and the whole shebang. Over the years, have you developed like an affinity and a love for certain products? Like, are you a super fan of anything that tends to consistently come up as a theme?
Yeah, I definitely do. I mean, gosh, there's so many. I think my adjustable base, I love sleeping elevated. It's just so nice. I recently started using a light machine and I'm obsessed with it. So it kind of dims right before you go to bed. And then when you wake up, it kind of just turns on just a little bit. So kind of slows about 30 minutes before your alarm goes off. So it's just a gentle nudge to get you to fall asleep and wake up. I'm a big fan of kind of the Purple brand. I'm obsessed with my mattress. I really love it, but I've always been a fan of Tempur-Pedic too. So I currently do sleep on Purple. And then, gosh, I think one of the things that I'm a huge fan of all of these brands is really, and these products specifically, if we're talking about products in my home, is that, it's not just the mattress that makes my sleep environment so great. It's the sheets. I use hemp sheets from Pure Care. I have a really nice adjustable base, a really nice mattress. I have the, sleep light. I have a purple harmony pillow. I have a couple other really nice pillows. And so that's really why I sleep good. It's not just the mattress. And why I sleep so well is just the entire environment. And I think that's so important. And that's another thing we're trying to focus on in 2024 is selling more products and not just having them to offer, but really showcasing them to guests that can help enhance their entire sleep environment.
Take me into that a little bit more, because you give me a great rundown of like the different products that you love. Is that something that you find to be a hard sell for guests and they think you're just trying to upsell them? Or do people typically get that it's a system and it works together?
I think you get both. You kind of have to test the waters. Some people do. And I think you also have to build trust with your guest, but some people will kind of joke another thing. And I think you can make it fun. Just say, yeah, I have a lot more things. I want you to sleep better, and you can kind of have fun with it. But I think just the biggest thing is you kind of have, it's per guest. So I think our biggest obstacle is, as salespeople, we're afraid to ask for more items or show more items because they just feel like they're being upsold. And I think that if you don't show them, then you might be, offering them a disservice, how much better they could be sleeping. So my recommendation would be just to keep asking, and until they're not done until they tell you no. So once they tell you no, that's how you know. But otherwise, you're just deciding when they're done if you don't continue to show products. And I think that's a disservice to them. And obviously, if somebody's getting upset or not liking it, definitely move on. But for the most part, you can really showcase all these items to most of your guests. And it's the salesperson generally that I guarantee is probably deciding when to stop showing things. And it's not usually the guest.
That's good. So you're focusing on that this year, trying to make sure that you are. Does that involve like a change in your sales presentation about when you introduce the pillow and when you introduce the sheets and how you demonstrate the adjustable base? What are some of those shifts looking like?
Yeah. So one of the things that's in our in our 2024 plan, is to make the mattress make the adjustable or make the accessories just as important as the mattress. So that's one of our really kind of taglines. And, if a person comes into the mattress store and they spend, let's say, an hour in your store, I bet you 45 minutes of that is on the mattress. And then maybe 15 minutes or less is on the adjustable accessory sheets, pillows. And that would be my guess. And I think that would probably be a pretty accurate guess. I've done this for a long time. But why not try to spend as much, just as much time on, maybe the customer has more time, right? And you don't just give them a short presentation. Maybe it's not 45 minutes on each category, but really think about how you can present these items versus just adding them on at the end, and pepper it throughout your presentation. So definitely fit them for a pillow early on. Or what we started doing is we put a set of purple sheets and Tempur-Pedic sheets on 2 beds in the store so that we can really demo them and they can lay on them and feel how they feel. We've never done anything like that before. And we've gotten some great feedback from guests. And it's really, people are talking about it when they come in and see it. And so that's kind of what's unique. So yeah, we're trying to focus more time on these items versus just spending all the time on the mattress.
I love whenever you have like the opportunity for new inflection points in your business. And even after 10 years, you can see, hey, these are some areas, if we concentrate on them and if we get the fundamentals down in this new realm, it can make a big impact. And I know that you spent a lot of time talking to your business partner, Paul Hollister, about this. I'm always curious too about business partnerships, and you're celebrating 10 years together as business partners. Talk about Paul and how you complement each other and how you have conversations and work together to run the business.
Yeah, Paul and I really complement each other very well. And we have very opposite personalities. And so it's kind of funny. So he is really data driven. He really thinks about things very thoroughly. So he is really good at budgeting. He's really good at managing our inventory levels. And also the data driven is so key because I'm very motion driven. So I see new product at market. I'm like, we got to carry this. Or I might make a comment like, we sell so many of these, and Paul will go look it up. And we've sold one of this item that I'm telling everybody we sell so much of. So, I'm really grateful for Paul because he's really taught me to, before I jump in, just, do a deep jump in deep. What I'll do is I'll go back and do some research first and just really look at the data and see, is this really moving or is this something that would make sense for us? And then I think at the same time for him, I think I've been a great opportunity to just like kind of just show him like, make a move or have more fun and maybe go with some more gut reactions. And so I think we really complement each other very well. And that he's also a lot of fun. He's really it's really cool watching fantasy surfing. So he plays fantasy surfing. I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but when we have a fantasy football league, he's got his phone up and he's watching surfing championships and picking his favorite, surfers to win these competitions. So it's really kind of cool. So he has a lot to offer. And I think because of our kind of different backgrounds, he comes from the mortgage industry. I come from interior design. We can really come together and have a really well-rounded company.
I imagine that's what a lot of people do in South Dakota is dream of being on a wave
Yes.
in the deep winter, whenever snow is all around them. So Paul's over there just dreaming about surfing.
That's exactly what he's doing. I mean, that's his daily life.
I love it. What a gift to be able to find somebody like that compliments you and then be able to, have a business over the course of 10 years that's been so successful. And now you're celebrating your 10th anniversary. How are you celebrating your 10th anniversary? Is it you having some confetti cannons or what's going on?
Yeah. Well, we actually had some cups made, so I don't know if you can see that, but
if you're watching on YouTube, we got hold it up there. I want to read it. It's the Mattress Firm South Dakota established 2013 10-year anniversary celebration, December 9, 2023. Oh, that's amazing. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. So we actually had a big party. It was a really big party. We had a lot of our friends flying from Oklahoma and Texas, and Paul's family came out from California, so that was great. And we rented out this place in our little, really fun downtown, rented out the whole bottom floor of my favorite Irish bar, actually. And we had a DJ and gifts, and we made hats and pullovers and just had a really fun party. We had really nice catering come in, and it was really a lot of fun. So that was our big thing that we did. It was a really fun time in December. Our anniversary is in November. So.
Well, let's give a shout out to your favorite place. What's it called?
The Blarney Stone, and it's on Phillips Avenue in downtown Sioux Falls.
Give it up for the Blarney Stone. And from what I hear, if you're really in the know, you can get a VIP card, which means very Irish person.
That's exactly what it means. You can get one. I think it's $20 for a lifetime. It's a steal of a deal.
I love it. I love it. It's so amazing just being in the mattress industry, to be a part of a community like that and to be able to support your local businesses and have these relationships. And you become their mattress gal, and hey, I can get you hooked up and get you, sleeping well tonight. As you think about the changing and shifting landscape of just the business climate in general and where you're headed and where you and Paul have talked about, taking the business, what is next? Where do you go from here?
Who knows? I think as far as expansion, we have thought about, we have other territories we can go into. There's the entire west part of the state that we have rights to. So we're really on the eastern part of the state. There's other states we can kind of dip into that are just kind of bordering towns from Sioux Falls. So there's definitely expansion. I think before we really would dig deep into that, I think our big thing is we want to grow our company. We want to have, we want to make this place like the best place people can work. We want it's the best place people can buy a mattress, and we want to have the best vendor partners, and we want to just grow who we are. We want to be able to give back to our community. We have partnerships with like the Furniture Mission in Sioux Falls, where Paul sits on the board. I'm help out with the marketing on the marketing committee, and we want to give even more to them. And so the better we can grow our business, then we can give back to them. We like to partner. We have a indoor arena football that we like to sponsor. And it's just great for our community to have something like that. We would like to sponsor even more with them so that they can continue to have something like that available for our community. We don't have any big sports teams here like some of our other big cities. So I think the best thing that we can do now, and of course, the future is who knows what's down the road. But right now, it's just to grow our business the best we can so we can continue to support our team and our communities, even better.
I want to go back to something you said. Thank you for sharing that, by the way. It's always fun to kind of future cast and look at the crystal ball, but like you said, maximizing the business you have and really getting it to hum on all, fire on all cylinders and really maximize, what the footprint you do have. I think that's so key. And I think a lot of people are looking at growth and looking at expansion, but a lot of times that growth and expansion is pretty embryonic. It's right here. It's going to grow out of where you are.
Exactly.
I want to go back to something you said about, how Paul is more analytical and how you're looking at, the vibes something throws off with your interior design background. Whenever you look at a 6-store operation and you're changing out floor samples and you're bringing in new product, how do you decide what to bring in? You talked about some of the new purple mattresses that rolled out, and let's say you're at market together, you see this new purple mattress that you both decide, hey, based on the data and based on some of those other factors, maybe on the soft side, we want to bring this in. Do you bring it into one store and test it? Do you do floor samples and roll it out across the board? How do you think about not disrupting your sales staff and the anxiety that sometimes goes along with a line change? How do you navigate that?
Well, Mark, I wish I could give you a smart answer and say we test the waters, but no, we typically roll it out at all stores and maybe even 25 stores, which is interesting. We do some test. If if there's a bed that we're on the fence about, we will test it out at one location. So we do that occasionally. But if it's a line that's like a national line that just came out and it's their core line, we'll roll it out at all locations. So we do a little bit of both, I would say. I think more often than not, it's all stores. And we do a lot of research. We look at, the current line that we have or what maybe is most similar. We break things down to, our sale price, but then we look at our actual AUSP. What are we actually selling it for versus what, of course we're advertising it for. And then we can really categorize things by feel, brand, and then actual selling price. And then we kind of decide, okay, where do we have some gaps, or what's a hot mover, or don't get rid of this. It's not broken. Let's keep this one, So we kind of look at different things. But merchandising, it's a really hard thing because you're right. It can be disruptive, especially your salespeople can sometimes get an emotional attachment to a brand, a line. And then we're making decisions kind of above looking at the stores. Well, in their store, they may not want us to make that decision because they're in that store every day and they have this good flow going. So you're right, it can be disruptive. So a lot of times we'll even include them. If we do a floor layout, we'll, jump on with them and kind of have them help us with that layout so that we can make sure we're getting the right products. And so I think we have to combine emotion with data, because if somebody is really attached to a certain product or line, it doesn't matter what the data says. If we bring something in different, they're not going to sell it. So we have to look at both. And I think, right now, I think we have some of the best merchandising we've had in a long time. And we have a great brand selection, a great product assortment. And so we just got back from market. So of course we're changing things up, but that happens every year.
Yeah, it's art and science. I mean, it's the combination of Kelly Christal and Paul Hollister. And
yes,
then,
exactly.
and then, like you said, you have the, let's call it like the advantage of having the Mattress Firm brand and what's happening on the corporate side of things that can inform what you're doing within your own stores.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. That's a big thing, is that we try to stay in line with them. So we carry, like if they have an exclusive product, we'll try to pick that up. Or if they have a core line, we'll try to pick that up. And there's stuff that we can't even get regionally because, of where we're at, we're in the middle of nowhere. So there's some companies that don't even want to ship to us. So we get that, or shipping now puts the product out of our, price point that we're willing to pay. So, there are some things that we can't always stick, in line with them exactly. And there's things that, we want to carry because we have this great partnership with a vendor. And so we might carry a little bit different than what they have. And the other thing is we don't always get a heads up on what they have. So sometimes we find out because we see it in a store or on a website. It's not necessarily we're getting all this inside scoop about their merchandising. So we get a little bit of a peek behind the curtain, but it's not a big one. So we typically make all of our decisions with some information from what they're doing and then what we feel like would work in our own market. Hey,
speaking about peek behind the curtain, I got to shift gears a little bit. You and I got to peek behind the curtain at Podium. Yes. Podium, for those of you who don't know, is a communication platform, lead driver, reviews, text messaging. And we talked about some of the use cases for Mattress Firm South Dakota earlier, and also with Jason Sellers Group. We got to go out there because they're interested in further serving the mattress and furniture category, and they were looking for feedback. They were looking for insights. They were looking for ways they could better serve this category. So you and I got to go to the headquarters out in Lehi, Utah, right outside of Salt Lake City.
Yes.
Give me your hot takes. What did you notice about being there? What stood out?
The biggest thing I will say is Salt Lake City has Utah, I should say in general, has some really friendly people. I just felt like, I don't know if it's silly to say salt of the earth because the salt theme, but I mean, everybody from people in the hotel to Uber drivers to really the entire Podium team. I think, Mark, when we walked out of our Uber and walked in the front door and we, met this nice gal, I forgot her name now, but, everybody's just so warm and welcoming to us. And the girl that we met wasn't even with kind of our team. So she had really no reason to even talk to us. And I think everybody we met was so nice at Podium and just friendly and welcoming and really intelligent. Everybody we talked to had such cool ideas of how they're going to grow Podium or even how we can not even grow Podium, how we can better, maximize our own use with Podium that we're doing now. And they're very passionate about it. And so that was really awesome to see kind of their passion behind it. Plus the Podium headquarters was so cool, like a cereal bar, espresso machine, CrossFit room. I mean, what else did they have?
Yeah, they had a giant CrossFit gym, and they had this town hall set up where there were hundreds of people and we got to be up on stage. And then I guess hundreds of other people from around the country and around the globe were tuned into that town hall. And it was really great to be up there with John Foreman, who's their chief product officer. And then, Trent and Kelly and all of our hosts that came in and took us through all the different technologies and the roadmap and the automations that are going to happen. It was really cool. I remember kind of joking around with Kelly and Trent. I said, where are all the old people?
Yeah, we were it. It was us.
Yeah. They kind of joked. They're like, yeah, it's us. I was like, well, you guys are not old. But yeah, an incredibly young group of people that seem super passionate about what they're doing to grow that company. And then, they've really concentrated, kind of reoriented themselves around the mattress and furniture category. Whereas I think they were starting to cast a wider net and they said, no, we've verticalized and we're focused on these core verticals like automotive, furniture and mattress retail, med spa, and a few others. And so we've definitely felt that love come back to the category in a meaningful way. And I know people are really putting together some pretty incredible ways of using Podium in terms of, I think this is one of my favorite stories. Tell your story about the couple that came in from the Chinese food restaurant that was next door.
Yeah, that was a crazy story. So one of our stores is next to it's in the same strip mall as a Chinese kind of fast food restaurant and a popular chain. And this, gentleman came in originally by himself to look at beds. And he was saying, I'm in from California. I'm here for a wedding. My family, his whole family was outside of this restaurant, just hanging out, talking. And so he's like, I just wanted to look at a couple options. He ended up really liking the purple. His wife wandered in. So she started looking at some beds too. They settled on a purple mattress. I think they were in the store for maybe 10 minutes. I even showed him a quick adjustable demo. And then they had to run. They had to run to do some sightseeing and didn't have a lot of time. But I told him, hey, listen, I know you guys love this bed. We can deliver to California. I can actually send you some information on the beds that you looked at today and just text you some info. And if you like it, I can even send you a text payment link. And so they said, sure, here's our phone number. And they left. They went to Falls Park, which is the namesake of Sioux Falls. It's a really pretty natural waterfall in Sioux Falls. So I know they were doing that and they were doing some other things. And so I just kind of told them, enjoy your time in town. And anyways, texted them the information a few minutes later. And then she looked at it and she texted me. She said, yeah, send me that payment link, and paid for it. I shipped it to her house in California. They got it when they got home, and they left us a Google review on Podium too about what a great experience they had. And literally none of those steps would have ever happened in our deal with Podium. So I can't imagine her answering the phone at Falls Park. It's loud. It's these huge waterfalls, and trying to give me a credit card, over the phone. It just wouldn't have worked. And I think we would have been an afterthought, and they might have probably bought a purple somewhere in California. But the fact that it was just so easy and convenient for her, because of the convenience as a Podium, we just were able to generate that sale, and it ended up being a $5,000 sale. So I don't know, $5,000 sale in 10 minutes sounds pretty good to me.
If you can do that and repeat that over and over again over the course of the next 10 years,
We'll be good.
you're going to be doing great. You're going to be doing great. And you are doing great. And it's just been an absolute joy to get to know you, Kelly, and get to know Paul and the entire team from the Roberts Group and beyond. You have absolutely A++ people. And it's just been fun to see your businesses, kind of reignite around this new community that we have. And so thanks for coming on and sharing your story. I think you're going to have to come back, and I'll tell you why. Well, we're going to close the loop on the Salt Lake City plant thing real quickly, but I think we have to tell the story about your dad at some point in the future, who, I'll tease it, I guess is like sailing around the Caribbean.
Yeah. He started. He sailed around all the way from Grenada to Miami on basically just a retirement dream and 2 weeks of a sailing crash course class in Galveston, Texas. So he is living out his dream.
Okay, we'll have to come back and find like where in the world is Mr. Christal at some point.
Yes. Yeah.
But we also got a kick out of it because when we were in Salt Lake City, you were telling me the story of your dad, and we were talking about business and fun and life and all that stuff. And we looked over because we were sitting down at this restaurant, and there were people taking photographs of plants. And you noticed this first. And I was like, surely not.
Yes.
And then we went to another location, and which was completely separate, like half a mile away. And once again, there was another photographer taking pictures of plants.
Yes, potted plants specifically. I'm not talking like in the wild, like plants. These are potted plants that they're all taking pictures of. And I did ask, one of the employees at the second place, what the deal is with the plant photography in Salt Lake City, and he had no idea. And he kind of blew it off like, "Oh, that's not a thing." And I'm like, "Oh, this is a thing. Like, this is interesting."
Well, and then we later did find out that at the hotel, they were indeed taking pictures of plants. And this particular hotel, it was a Kimpton, and they had what they called therapy plants.
Yes.
Is that how they put it? Therapy plants?
I think that I called it emotional support plant, but I don't know. I thought I was just being funny.
Yeah, no, I think that was it. Emotional support plants. Yeah. And instead of notorious BIG, I got notorious FIG, a fig tree.
Yes.
And then we decided, hey, let's just participate in this. So you took a plant, I took a plant, and the plant, had its night. And then we took it back to the front desk, the next day.
Like,
and the guys
just drop it off, during checkout. Like, okay, this is, and I felt so funny carrying that down in the elevator. And there's somebody in the elevator with me, kind of like, what is this girl doing? And I made it kind of a quip that belongs to the hotel. And it was kind of a funny.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm packing up and getting all my stuff packed up. And I remember like about to walk out the door, and they told you had to bring it back to the front desk. And I was like, that fig tree.
Yeah.
Well, we had a blast in Salt Lake City. And if there is some conspiracy going on to like photograph plants, just let us know. I'm sure we can find out about it on Instagram. Thank you to our friends at Podium for hosting us there. Absolutely. One of the things I said, they had us like do a little stuff on camera to like reflect on our experience, and the people there are absolutely amazing. And that was evident everywhere we went. I did tell one guy that we were from corporate, and there was no working in the elevator. I don't think he understood what I meant.
Yeah. Well, he was on a Zoom, and like I was going to try to get in on the Zoom. He was literally on a Zoom in the elevator. I think that's what he was doing. So that was funny.
Well, it was a great trip, a lot of fun, and congratulations, Kelly, on 10 years, Mattress Firm South Dakota. How do people get in touch with you? Are you on like LinkedIn?
Yeah, LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn. So if you want any information about, my experience with Podium, you can find me on there. Or if you want to buy a mattress, I can ship it to you, and I can send you a text payment link. And if it's not in South Dakota, I can save you some sales tax. But yeah, find me there, and I can help you with any mattress needs or communication needs, anything related to the bedding industry. I probably can help you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on the FAM podcast. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple, be sure to subscribe. Send this to one of your friends that you think would enjoy the episode. I know I did. And Kelly Christal, congratulations again on 10 years, and thanks for being on the show.
Thank you so much, Mark.